listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.
I love it. I love it. But welcome back to another great episode of the Scoreboard Addicts podcast. I'm Nick, and with me, as always, is Anthony the Rook and TJ, who is he's mildly hammered today. He's got a good-looking tan, though.
He's looking sunburned a little bit.
In case you haven't noticed, I am not in my normal office, surrounded by my amazing artifacts that I usually have strewn about my office.
Take it easy, Indiana.
Thanks. Adobo Jones. But I'm down here in Florida. Aloha. That's not the right word, but all right. Down in the Sunshine State, and I'm at my parents' house down here visiting for the weekend, and we're gonna be going to Universal, and I'm gonna do a little I don't know, what am I gonna do? A little review of Universal Studios and butterbeer, because we always do beer reviews. I'll be doing butterbeer.
Ugh.
Can you give us a review of your parents' house?
It's nice, man. It's ranch style. It's ranch style. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
Their pool.
There's not a pool. Old people don't need pools. Air conditioning.
Nice.
Air conditioning.
How humid is it out right now?
Oh, it's humid, man. It's wet.
How many times has it rained today?
It hasn't.
Oh, not yet.
It has not. It has not. It's a balmy friggin' 80-something degrees, but like I'm sweating like a whore in church right now.
You know what they say about the Florida weather, right?
What's that?
If you don't like it, wait 5 minutes.
I wanted it to be funnier than it was.
I heard that statement. I went away to Florida last year, Brandy. I heard that statement like at least 20 times from all the old men walking around. Because we had a lot of rain down. We were in the Gulf Coast, and there was just rain like every day at 2 o'clock to like 2 to 3. And then as soon as it rained, they just go, if you don't like the weather in Florida, just wait 5 minutes.
That's what you get for going to the early bird dinner special. Spend the extra $6, dude. Go with the regular age people.
Not me.
Tapioca pudding ready.
I was stumbling my way back from the beach. All my boat drinks.
And sand in your crack?
No.
Not supposed to take that with you.
No.
Oh, I just got a text message from Royalty. Inbound text message from Thomas Doyle Sr.
Oh.
You kids have a great vacation. Please give my best to all. So, Dad, Big Tom says, best and thanks and all that good stuff.
And give Big Tom a big happy birthday.
His birthday's actually August. I'm not gonna say his birthday. That's private information. But it's a week away. It's next week.
Well, either way, happy early birthday, Big Tom.
Yeah.
Appreciate your support.
Financial support would be nice, but whatever. That's nice.
Yeah, maybe a little more financial support. But
actually, Big Tom, I have another gift for you. Next week, I'll drop it off at your house.
It's a stack of cash. I'll give it to him. Don't worry.
It's definitely not a stack of cash.
Nice envelope of cash.
Sorry.
Don't tell
it's from my heart, though. It's from this area right here.
To Tabasco.
No.
All right.
So
back to the world of sports.
We have a big news. Jacob Trooper, the 28th captain in New York Rangers history. Boys, what do you think?
Yeah. Dude, I love it. And I love how butthurt everybody on Twitter is. It's like, I don't understand Ranger fans. They're getting almost as embarrassing as Met fans at this point. Like with the love-hate of players that are impact players on the team that just don't understand the sport. I mean, Jacob Trouba is he's a threat to put points on the board. I mean, it's the first time the Rangers have had a defenseman that consistently can score, They can, dish the puck and pass and get a couple assists and just absolutely lay the wood and throw the body around and make it count. I mean, dude, if you watch the Rangers playoffs, you saw the impact that Jacob Trouba had, the amount of minutes he played, and how physical he was on the ice. And if you don't think that isn't worth 2 cents, you're out of your mind. You don't know the sport. It's so helpful to have a defenseman, a big defenseman, be able to throw the body around, be able to move the puck up and down the ice. I mean, it's one of those things where it's often overlooked, but for the Rangers, we haven't had it in so long that I don't understand how this man isn't celebrated more. So him getting the captaincy is a great honor for him, and I think it's well deserved. A lot of people are saying it should have been Kreider, and the only thing I can think of, because obviously Kreider's play on the ice dictates that, he would obviously deserve to wear the C, but maybe he's just not as vocal in the locker room. Maybe he's just not, that guy in the locker room in between periods, getting the team, on their toes and ready to go out there and battle. I don't know, but either way, on paper and just doing the eye test, Jacob Trouba, well deserved, man. He's an asset, and people really need to stop bitching and moaning, and especially Rangers fans saying, "Oh man, he's a dirty player." Show me one dirty hit he's laid. I mean, these are the same people that would celebrate, Zdeno Chara if he would have been on the Rangers in his prime. He does the same thing. He's a big guy. Yeah, he gets the arms up. That's because most guys' head are right next to his arms or his shoulders. So cut the bullshit. Learn hockey before you open up your mouth, because you're just embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday, T. I was kind of shocked that it wasn't Kreider. I wasn't mad. I'm not mad. Like, how could I don't understand how anybody can be mad about a player that's been on your team for a minute gets honored as being a captain. Like, I get having favorites and all, but like my favorite player is for the Yankees is Bernie Williams. I wasn't really mad when Derek Jeter got named captain. I was just like, all right, whatever. I mean, cool.
Right.
It doesn't, and we made that little thing with Mighty Ducks and Charlie and how could he expect me to leave when he takes away my C? And again, all it is it's a nice honor and everything, but in my career, I've never needed somebody to tell me I was a leader. You just do it. You do it. You do it in everything that you do. You don't just have somebody appoint you a leader. They either see you as a leader already, or they
right. It's how you carry yourself. It doesn't matter if there's a C on your jersey. Absolutely, I agree.
Absolutely not. I mean, I think TJ knows that he was a captain on our team when we played baseball together, but nobody ever put a C on his chest. But
still
just
sad
the way
about that, actually.
Oh, stop it! It's fucking 10 years ago. Let it go.
I will say,
I wanted to be like Jason Varitek, like, look at
me. I will say, though, I agree with Nick. I was a little shocked. I really thought it was Kreider, because the way Kreider always carried himself during the playoffs, he was always the last guy on the ice, especially in that defeat in Tampa in Game 6 in the Eastern Conference Finals. He greeted every one of those guys on the way out, and I just felt like that was just a captain move, and I thought that would be the next person. But I mean, I think Trouba obviously has also been that leadership role throughout last season, and like TJ said, he's a two-way player, offense, defense. Listen, he has big hits. He's physical on the ice. Listen, I don't hate Jacob Trouba. Am I a little shocked that Chris Kreider wasn't it? Yeah, I'm a little shocked, but I'm not. I don't hate Jacob Trouba being named captain. I still think Kreider's going to have an A on his chest. He's still going to be a leader in that locker room. And same thing with Mika. I know people are upset about Mika not being named captain either, and I think it's voted by the players. So obviously Kreider and Mika are okay with it. They wanted this to happen, so I'm fine with it. Congratulations, Jacob Trouba. Being a captain of New York Rangers is pretty awesome.
So one thing I was thinking of when I was in high school, I played baseball, I swam, I played football. During my baseball season, as we were gearing up and doing tryouts and all that stuff, we had a kid that was doing the captain thing. You talk about like, oh, he greeted everybody as he came back in. He was doing those things. He was. We got one kid left out there doing laps, or we got one kid out there running poles or whatever the hell he's doing, and he'd go out there and run with him, and he'd be hitting ground balls. I knew the kid. I knew him already. I know this guy. So I know a phony when I see a phony. And I knew that kid wasn't that way. I knew that guy wasn't. He wasn't one of those guys that's going to lay it on the line for the team. He was just trying to impress the coach because he wanted to be named a captain. That's it. It was a temporary situation. And as the season went on, I remember we had a game and we're losing badly to a team that should not be beating us. Talent wise, they're just not better than we are. And I remember the coach throwing down a sign, some kid not knowing it. And TJ, if the coach gives you a sign and you don't know the signs, what happens?
You stand there like a deer in the headlights.
No, I mean after the at bat. When you don't do what
after the at bat, you go run it down with them. Like, yo, dude, did you miss the sign? You do not know the signs, and you just, essentially educate.
If they don't know the signs, what do you do? If it's like you play 20 games a year, it's the 18th game of the season. The kid plays every game, doesn't know the signs.
Oh, you're getting reamed.
You're sitting down, right? You're not playing.
Yeah, you're getting reamed.
That's it. I'll put a kid in that knows the signs, care enough to know the signs. So the coach starts taking out the kids that aren't putting in the effort, they're not doing the work. And the kid that he made captain because he was hustling during spring training and he was putting on this big show, they have a little team meeting after the game and they're like, he doesn't believe in us, blah, blah, blah. And he basically tried to turn the whole team against the coach. And I'm just like sitting there as a senior, like, dude, you're an idiot. You didn't know the signs.
Right.
Like the coach told you to lay one down and you looked at him like, huh? And this isn't like the first week of the season.
Why is he touching his belt buckle?
So maybe people see it that way. Like a lot of the things that we see with Kreider, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the guy, but a lot of the things that we see with Kreider usually involves a body job.
Yeah,
no, absolutely. Like I said, we don't know what goes on in the locker room, dude. We don't know. We don't see those candid conversations. We don't see the in between periods kind of conversations taking place, or walking up to somebody that's having a down day and slamming them on the shoulder pad and be like, yo, pick your head up, let's go, we got it. You know what I mean? We don't see those guys. We don't see the guys on the bench. I mean, that's the one thing you saw from Jacob Trouba is just intensity the whole way through, and especially in the playoffs. I mean, if you can't hang your hat on that, I don't know what you can, because he was that guy. And we ripped into the Rangers a lot, during their series, all three playoff series of, Zibanejad didn't show up for a couple games. Panarin was a ghost. And even Kreider with the tremendous season offensively that he had, he was just, not there at all. And you didn't see that out of Jacob Trouba. He was there the entire time, giving it full on effort. And you can say that you think he's a dirty player because the way he throws the body around, but especially in the NHL today, you really don't see players throwing the body around like that. At least not a player of his, talent, because he's not a goon. He's not somebody that's going out there. That's the only thing he can do is get in people's faces. You know what I mean? He's a, all around great player, and he's still going out there and looking to make the big hit and making that impact play. And you have, if you've never played hockey, you have no idea what it's like. Even if you get the better of the hit and you knock the guy on the floor, you're still hitting somebody doing about 20 miles an hour, and he might be coming across the other way doing 15, 20 miles an hour. That's like getting into a car accident without a seatbelt, essentially. You know what I mean? It's a massive impact, and to do that day in and day out takes a toll on your body, and he never stopped. Dude, like that's, tip the cap and say, great job, because it's definitely well deserved. I mean, we can sit here and say the Kreider situation, whatever, yada, yada, yada. There's plenty of guys on that team that could deserve a C for the way they play and the way they carry themselves, at least how we see it as fans. But Trouba, being the stud that he is and the effort that you see game in and game out, I mean, it's well deserved.
Yeah, I don't think it's an indictment on Kreider's character or leadership. I think it's just the players vote on it. Kreider and Mika are involved in that vote. Yeah, and they must do the same thing that that Gigi and Drury saw, and they with Trouba at that point.
I do know one player that didn't vote for those guys, and I'm going to share this. If you didn't see it, it's pretty funny.
This is pretty hilarious.
This is pretty funny.
Congratulations, buddy. Happy for you, but I still think I'm better choice.
Like, can you go back again? I was gonna say when he says Jacob.
Listen, I grew up in Sheepshead Bay. All my Russian friends talk like that.
I still think I was better. But anyway, congratulations to Jacob Trouba on becoming the captain of New York Rangers. Obviously, we're excited for New York Rangers hockey. We can't wait for off season. I mean, sorry, like this preseason game. So in November, October, right? Early October. So we're looking forward to that. Counting it down.
We got about 60 days left.
60 days left, and we're excited for that. So we're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll go into our next topic. And it's also captain themed. So it's actually a new sponsor. Check it out.
Support for today's episode comes from True Classic. This brand new sponsor has the absolute best fitting t-shirts a man can buy. Finding the right t-shirt with a little bit of a dad bod is incredibly frustrating. Most t-shirts are either too tight on your gut or look way too big and boxy. You're not in high school anymore, and it's time to upgrade. True Classic has already helped over 2 million men finally get a better fit at an affordable price. Our listeners get access to the best deal they offer. For a limited time only, get 20% off with the promo code BellyUpFantasy at TrueClassic.com. Almost all men's t-shirts are designed to look good on skinny models with six-packs, but most of us aren't packing anything but a few beers. Fellas, you are wearing the wrong clothes. True Classic tees taper off towards the bottom, but they fit tighter around the chest and shoulders. It's time to highlight your best attributes with a t-shirt you can always confidently throw on. True Classic doesn't just stop at tees. They are your one-stop shop for men's essentials. Super easy and simple to fill out your wardrobe. From polos and workout shirts with the same flattering fit to boxer briefs designed with a pouch to keep your bulge nice and comfortable. All their gear is top-notch quality at reasonable prices. It's about time you learn how to dress yourself properly. Upgrade your wardrobe with True Classic and get 25% off at TrueClassic.com with the promo code BellyUpFantasy. Free shipping included on purchases over $100 and 100% risk-free guarantee with a 30-day return policy. Stay classy with True Classic. Your dad bod will thank you.
So first of all, that seems like an outstanding product. Second of all, I'm sitting here, my dad and his neighbor sitting in front of me, and they're looking at me like, "Do you have any of those? Because they look really good." Like,
I'm gonna fix them up. I think I'm gonna use that Belly Up Fantasy promo code and get me some of those True Classic shirts. So
Absolutely,
they definitely fit my dad bod.
Dude, they had me at dad bod. That was it.
Listen, it's not a dad bod; it's a father figure.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true. But anyway, so it brings me to my next point. We're talking about captains, which made me think in my head. I know you guys haven't watched it yet, but the captain documentary is going on right now about Derek Jeter. 6-part. The 7th part is this Thursday. So pretty good, but it's reliving, the dynasty of the New York Yankees. It's reliving, from obviously Jeter's entire career. So, mid 90s to 2014. And obviously those lean years after, 2003, 2004, and that horrible loss to the Red Sox to blow in a 3-0 lead. Which brings it to this, because I've watched it, and my wife watches with me, and she's like, "You just seem so upset right now. Like, I'm still angry about this." Like 2004, 2001, we watched that part of the documentary, and I was like, I was cursing. I was like trying to explain to her what happened. She's like, "How do you blow a 3-0 lead?" I'm like, "Don't fucking talk about it. I just want to talk about it." So the reason why I bring this up is because take it from the Captain documentary to you guys now is some of the worst, and some of your best moments as a Yankee fan watching that team, the highs and the lows, obviously throughout Jeter's career, and obviously to our, to what we're currently dealing with the New York Yankees right now. Last championship was 2009. They had a really good start this year, and they're kind of slowing down right now. So I want to hear from you guys, because I have one of my best memories from being a Yankee fan during that time period. I'm sure you guys have as well. And we all know TJ's worst moment is when Paul O'Neill didn't want to sign that ball. But I want to see if you guys have any other moments that you think pick a high and then pick a very low, and then let me know what you guys think.
I know it's cliche, but I was going to say the Aaron Boone home run, I mean, is just hype central. I mean, I don't think it gets bigger than that as far as being able to sit there and watch that and just like that was absolutely nuts. But looking back now as a Yankee fan and seeing what we're dealing with and what we've gone through, it's just amazing how much of a friggin' stud Mariano Rivera was, and like just 99% of the time guy that you know it's over, and that you hear Enter Sandman, and it's like, dude, just put the W on the board, start singing New York, New York, and let's get the hell out of here. You know, I miss that. I miss that so much. Knowing that every single game, it's like, oh, Mosin, all right, we won.
So about your low.
The Polonia ball.
No.
It could be personal. It could be just watching a game and a game.
No, I mean, obviously, the only low that you could sit there and really say is obviously the blowing the 3-0 lead. That was just like, this gag reflex inducing, this fucking want to throw my TV out the window. Are you shitting me right now? Kind of deal. But can't complain as a Yankee fan. Got to see plenty of championships.
Yeah, it's true. Nick, what about you?
So my high is probably Bernie Williams catching the final out of the 2000 World Series. I got Mets fans in my family, and I'll never hear the end of it if they ever beat us in the World Series. Shit, if the Mets ever win a World Series in my life, I will never hear the end of it. So I wish nothing but bad things upon the Mets every single day. I just never want to hear about it. You know, it's just one of those things. So Bernie Williams, who's my favorite player, at least in my generation, catching that final out, taking the knee, just blessing himself, and then standing up and being like, yeah, that was the highest of highs. You know, my favorite player catches the final out of the World Series. We beat the Mets. I got bragging rights. It was awesome. And I think that's apropos, especially this year with the Mets on the pace that they're on, actually doing better than the Yankees right now because the Yankees lost today. Yeah. But that was definitely the highest high for me right there. Because I got to be honest, game 2, I was nervous. Game 2, I was very nervous. That was a good Mets team. It really was. Yeah, I mean, not good enough, but, you know.
I mean, highest high with dealing with the Mets is watching Castillo drop the fucking ball. That was great. I was in a notorious Mets bar on Staten Island eating some Lee's Tavern pizza and surrounded by Met fans. And when he dropped that ball and the Yankees won, the silence that just fell over the bar of disbelief, and me standing up going, yeah, that's right. Fuck yous. Nobody even stared at me. Nobody even looked. Nobody even wanted to like take on a drunken brawl at that point. They were just like, ugh, I gotta go home and take a shower, like the crying game. Just sit there and wash myself. I'm clean.
I remember that game amazing because I had my friends over for this is like back in like college years, and we were playing beer pong, and that play happened. I just started screaming, drop the ball before he even like actually happened. And then it happened. Everyone was like, holy shit, it happened. And then Tech scored from what, second or first? Like he just
like first.
Yeah, he scored first. That was that was a fun one. But I mean, that's not the highest of highs. But
that was hilarious. That was hilarious.
Great moment.
My lowest of lows was 2001, losing to the Diamondbacks in the World Series. And a lot of people go, well, what about 03? What about down 03? Up 3-0 and losing to the Red Sox. I don't like losing to the Red Sox, but if you go ahead and ask me how many friends I have that are Red Sox fans, 0.
It's not allowed.
So like, I don't have to hear it. I don't like it, but like, who's going to talk smack to me? We're thinking again. Let's bear in mind we're talking about almost 20 years ago. There was no Twitter. Like, so like the only people you knew on MySpace were your friends, and they weren't going to smack talk you on MySpace. They're your friends, you know. Right. So, like, you had a couple of Mets fans that were sitting there like, oh, you blew a 3-0 lead. Like, okay, you weren't even in the playoffs this year, guy. Like, what are we doing here? So,
again,
that wasn't it was bad. Don't get me wrong. But 9/11 was such an impact on all of our lives. We needed something to feel good about as a city, you know, just like distract us from all the pain and suffering and all that. And I think the Yankees being in the playoffs and getting that far and a lot of comeback wins and Mr. November and all that stuff, I feel like that was a reprieve from all the pain that we were all going through. And when they lost, I was just like deflated. I was kind of looking forward to just being happy for a little bit. And then they lost, and I was like, so not only did they just lose, but we have to go back to reality of this terrible tragedy and dealing with this stuff. Like my dad, who's sitting, I don't know, 15 feet from me right now, he was going down to the ground zero every day with the army, like picking rubble and people body parts and stuff like that. That sucked, man. It would have been nice to just have something to be happy about.
Yeah.
But and then one last high, like my B-side high was A-Rod hitting a home run and breaking that camera in Philly, because I was actually in Philly when that happened. I was at a party. I was at a party at Temple University. I was at like a Halloween party, and they're losing, and I'm sitting there like just like the only Yankee fan in the room, just like being real quiet. And he broke that camera, and like TJ said, I was like, yeah, suck it. What now? Everybody's quiet now, huh? Everybody's quiet now.
Yeah, that game against the Phillies was on Halloween. I remember being at a Halloween party as well.
Yeah.
And a Met fan looked at me and the Yankees were losing, and he was like, trust me, as a Met fan, it's tough to win in Philadelphia. And I was like, just wait, just watch. I think it was the game Andy Pettitte hit the RBI single, like tie the game, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, our pitcher just hit off them in Philly. How hard could it be to fucking win here?
Dude, touching on Met fans, I gotta like, and I don't want to come off like a Met hater. I know I do, and it's easy to come off like a Met hater. I don't hate on the Mets. I hate on the arrogant Met fans, because people like to rag on Yankee fans being arrogant, but you know what? You got the championships to back up the smack talk, and you're allowed to smack talk when you're always in the mix, especially in the playoffs. And for a Met fan to just the Twitter nonsense going on, you know, when they won the series against Atlanta, it's like you're talking shit to the reigning World Series champions, and none of your friends have seen a fucking Mets World Series. It happened in '86, and especially the younger Twitter people just running their mouth. It's like, you've never seen anything other than loss, so shut up. It
reminds me of last year when the Yankees, they lost to the Red Sox in the wild card game, and some Mets fan was on Twitter, and he was like, congratulations on playing one extra game in the Mets. And I wrote back, I was like, congratulations on being in first place the entire year and breaking the record for having the most games in first place and then missing the playoffs. Like, you cannot talk shit at this moment. Like, we made the wild card game. I know it's a one-game playoff, but we at least made that. And we were in first place for, what was it, three quarters of the year.
Do something. I'm not
hating
you
either.
talk
I think
shit.
the Mets are playing incredible right now. But
you can talk shit as much as you want. If you do something,
if
your team has done nothing for 36 years. It's a joke. Like, seriously.
Yeah. I'm not a hater, though, because I think this season it's different for them. I think they have a much better squad. I think Stevie Cohen,
that's all well and good, but until they get to the World Series, they have no leg to stand on, because they're choke artists, career choke artists. My entire lifetime it's been watching the Mets choke year after year, or just be absolute shit year after year. So I just don't understand that arrogance. I don't understand that matter of fact F you attitude. It's like, for what? I don't get it. For what?
I'm just trying to be nice to our new followers on TikTok.
That's fine, dude. I don't hate on the Mets like that. It's just, don't be a dick fan running your mouth because your team's doing well right now, because there's plenty of time for you to fuck it up. And if you guys have done anything historically, it's fucked things up, especially in a good position.
Well, T, bear in mind that a lot of the people on Twitter, they are 20 years old. In their minds, the Mets were in the World Series just 6 years ago. And the Yankees hadn't been in the World Series since they were like 9 years old.
Right.
So, like, in their minds, we're on equal footing.
Yeah, it's true.
So, it's Twitter, man.
You got to take it with a grain of salt, because some of these kids are younger. Probably feel like, well, we've been in a World Series 2015. You guys haven't been there since 2009 in my lifetime. And then for us, it's like, well, we've won fucking, 5 championships in our lifetime? So, like, it's different. You got to take it with a grain of salt depending on what the age of the person.
I get it, but it's just
I can still make older Mets fans cry,
dude. And I don't know if you guys saw it. It was all over TikTok and Twitter. The fan that the Atlanta fan, I'm not sure what happened. He might have thrown the first punch, but all you see is just 2 Met fans beating the shit out of him, like pretty much punching him in the face, while the guy 2 rows down, while the guy in the between row is trying to hold the Atlanta fan back. And they're just throwing haymakers at this kid. And then you find out a whole bunch of people were like, by the way, the Atlanta fan got thrown out. The Mets fans are still sitting here. It's like, dude, it's a baseball game. I don't know who started
Disneyland all over again.
Yeah, I don't know who started the fight. I'm not saying, who's right or who's wrong, but imagine getting into a fist fight at a baseball game. Like, seriously?
I'm fairly certain I've seen somebody on this podcast threaten an umpire at a baseball game. So like I can totally imagine getting into a fist fight at a baseball game.
Not viewing a baseball game. And
you didn't say that.
I threatened the umpire in jest. I wasn't going to attack the umpire. He threw me out of the game, and I was told by somebody else on the team to go get my money's worth because I was already out of the game. So with a smile on my face, said, "I'll see you in the parking lot." As a clear movie reference, a clear movie reference joke, and that guy lost his mind and was freaking out while I just stood there laughing.
What movie is that?
What's it called? Happy Gilmore.
When did he say I'll see you in the parking lot?
The big dude.
Oh, the big dude. I'll see you. You could count on me in the parking lot.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
me waiting for you in the parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, Happy didn't say that.
You could count.
It was a total throwaway goof because the guy was still yelling at me after I was walking off the field, and I just said it as a joke, laughing, with everybody else in the dugout laughing, and he went absolutely buck wild on that, freaking out, losing his mind. I was like, is this guy serious right now? Like, clearly I'm just making a dig at you, dude. Like, everybody's smiling. I'm walking off the field, like, laughing.
I don't recall any of these smiles or laughs.
Yeah.
I was hysterical laughing.
I feel like that didn't happen. But anyway, back to my
Don't you fucking question me, you prick.
My highs and lows have been a Yankee fan.
Horseshit lawyer bullshit jargon. Don't give me that crap. I'm gonna be allegedly me.
I'm gonna agree with Nick here on the low of 2001. I think because in 9/11, I think that one stings more than the 3-0 blown. Like, it does suck to be like the only team in like MLB history to blow. Yeah.
We're also the only team that win 27 championships.
Yeah.
So it's
like,
it's not that I disagree with you guys, but like during 9/11, I was just numb to everything. I really didn't give a flying F about baseball. The championship wouldn't matter to me at that point because it was just absolute chaos. And it was just like, okay, baseball is playing right now, and they're still trying to find bodies of family members that obviously know their parent has died or grandparent or aunt or uncle. And I just didn't give a shit about baseball. I have a different mentality, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was that's just for the city. I thought it would be a nice thing to have a victory, but it's weird because despite being the low at the end of it, one of the highest moments I ever had as a Yankee fan was I was in Game 4, 2001 World Series. First time World Series game was ever played on Halloween, and also into November. TJ got removed. I don't know what happened to him, but
he just took his camera off.
Oh, it was the missed November game for Derek Jeter, the walk-off. But Tino Martinez hit the 2-run home run in the bottom of the ninth of young Kim, and then Jeter hit the walk-off. And that, I mean, the old stadium, there's nothing like the old stadium. There was nothing like the old stadium in the playoffs. And being there for that moment, even though they did eventually lose that World Series, that was like the highest of highs as a kid. My dad, getting us those tickets to go to that game. It's still one of the memories of my lifetime that I always remember. And it's always that like good moment, like, even just in life, father, son, brother to the brother. I had my older cousin came with us. So it's just one of those moments. I think that's highest of highs as a Yankee fan. And I would, if I was to do a highest of high part B, or, as Nick was saying, like a side of that would be, I saw the Derek Jeter's 3,000 hit. And that was probably like one of the most historical things I've ever seen on a baseball field live. Like I 3,000 hit, the most, as a Yankee. I know you guys don't really like that because you guys don't really like Derek Jeter as much, but I think just to see that history of 3,000 being hit was still pretty highest to highest for me as a Yankee fan.
It's not that I don't not like Derek Jeter. I think Derek Jeter's attitude towards the game of baseball is not what you want to see as a baseball fan in general, not just a Yankee fan, but a baseball fan in general. Like, he treated it like a business, just like, this is what I do, and that's it. Like, whereas, and I know everybody hates A-Rod and all the steroid nonsense, but like, A-Rod loved the game of baseball. Like, it was infectious. He talked to you about the game of baseball. You hear countless people, like fans, just having interactions with A-Rod and BSing with him about baseball. I forget who it was, but somebody said that when they went down to visit A-Rod, somebody in the media went down to visit A-Rod in his house in Miami. They said they walked into his living room and he was just sitting on the couch and he has like 6 or 7 different TVs with just different baseball games on. And he's just watching baseball after he retired. Like he's done with the game of baseball and he's so in love with the game. And I feel like that's how I would be if I got like that honor of being able to play baseball professionally, being able to make a career and make a living out of playing a sport that I love so much. So it's just, I dislike Derek Jeter's kind of nonchalant attitude. I mean, not really showing, at least from my perspective, the reverence rather that the game deserves. Because I mean, you're getting paid millions upon millions of dollars to play a kid's game. Smile a little bit.
Well, I disagree. I disagree with that. I don't think he didn't have a love for baseball. I mean, I think when it came to the media, he just didn't. And if you watch the documentary, you'll see he just wasn't. He didn't want to deal with the media, but he wanted to deal with them. Obviously, he has to. They're in New York, but he didn't want to give them enough to maybe use it against him. Like his mentality was just to win, and that was like, I want to play the game of baseball. I don't really care too much with the media. You know, if he had a breakdown with somebody, he was very, according to the documentary, he was in himself. I'm very quick to have someone lose the trust in them. Like if you betray me once, then you're done with me. It wasn't him being a dick. I know like he was always had that issue with A-Rod, but it was like he felt that A-Rod betrayed him at one point, and it's like that's it. My trust for him is gone. And I don't think it was Jeter not liking the sport of baseball. I think he just wanted to play baseball and do it without having the media constantly in his face. So he just gave him those constant, boring, vanilla, bland answers because that's how he's like, well, you want an answer, I gave it to you. And I don't think that translates to him hating baseball, not giving
it. Does though. It does. You'll never see Derek Jeter in old timers day. Not that there might not even be an old timers game because I mean, look at the garbage that they put forth this year. But it's like A-Rod jumped right into the booth and wanted to talk about baseball.
Jeter owned the team though. It's like the same thing.
Jeter owned the team in the front office.
Yeah, but you're still in love with baseball. You're still watching baseball. You still
I don't think
baseball decisions.
I never thought that Derek Jeter didn't like baseball. I don't feel that he was ever appreciative of the fact of what he was doing. I feel that he felt that he was entitled to play baseball. I'm so damn good, you should be thankful you get to watch me play. So, because me personally, the old saying, Joe DiMaggio said, I thank God for making me a Yankee. I don't think Derek Jeter ever felt that way. I think Derek Jeter felt that the Yankees should be thanking God for making him a Yankee.
I don't feel that way either.
Because he never. I'll give you an example.
I agree, but I don't think
he felt that way. The day they retired his number, okay, they created these blue jackets for the guys that have their numbers retired. How many guys have their numbers retired still alive? Like 7, 6, something like that. At the time, it was probably about 6.
More than that.
No, I don't think so, dude. I'm pretty sure only like 6 dudes are still alive when they retired his number.
No, only because they keep retiring fucking numbers. That's why I said that.
No, I'm just saying right now, currently, when they made that jacket, only 6 guys can wear that jacket. Everybody else is dead.
Yeah, I know. I got you.
They're not going to dig up Babe Ruth's body and put the jacket on.
Give him a jacket. Yeah, I know what you mean.
All right, but they created this jacket specifically for Derek Jeter. He never even put it on.
Oh, wait. Actually, no, the jacket's not for retired members. It's for anyone who has a Monument Park plaque.
Okay, either way, he never even put it on. He never put it on. Like, how is that possible?
But does the jacket really offend you?
Yeah, what say you, Rook?
Carlos Beltran came with that fucking idea, and he's not a Monument Park.
That's fine. It doesn't matter who came up with the idea. The Yankees created it for the day that this man got honored, and he didn't even do them the courtesy of putting it on. It would be like them retiring his number and him not showing up to the ceremony. You'd be like, yeah, whatever.
Dude, that's like somebody winning the green jacket at Augusta and be like, I don't like green.
That actually would be pretty fucking funny. No, but I mean, listen, I agree to disagree on this point. I mean, I'm not gonna spend so much time arguing about this, but I don't think he has that. I get what you're saying with the jacket, but I don't think he has this like nonchalant, blasé attitude towards the Yankees or baseball. I just think that's who he is as a person. It's just what he does. It's just he kind of does everything
like when he's nailing chicks and he gives them a gift basket and sends them on their way.
He says He says never happened.
Yeah, okay.
Bullshit, it never happened.
I got news for you. My brother drove him when he used to drive limos. The gift baskets were in the car.
Yeah. That's awesome, though.
And also, one of those girls came out the night after, and he's sitting on the couch watching himself on TV naked, going, "Yeah, Jeets, yeah,
Jeets, yeah, Jeets."
That's
no
so
Jeets,
douchey.
no."
Well,
That's
agree to disagree.
douchey.
If you guys watch the documentary, it's very good. I think it shows behind the scenes of why he's the way he was.
Does it explain why he fired a guy who's dying of cancer and needed a kidney?
No, they didn't go. They
didn't talk about that. Okay, yeah, that's why I'm not watching.
That was the Marlins, right? The Marlins.
Does it make a difference?
No, because they didn't get to that yet. They didn't get to his Marlins.
I'm just.
Do they mention how he didn't show up to Bob Shepard's funeral?
No, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
Did they mention about how he only invited like 2 people to his wedding?
I doubt there's more people than that.
He invited Pettit and Posada. That was it.
All right, whatever. Sometimes he's douchey, but I mean,
yeah.
I don't think, but fine. He has a douche sometimes, but to say he didn't love the game of baseball, he was.
Oh, I never said that.
No, I'm saying for TJ, that was like
no,
yeah.
but he doesn't. He doesn't love the game of baseball like a lot of other people love the game of baseball.
A-Rod just wants people to fucking like him, and he just would do whatever he can.
Wait, hold on. To be fair, the whole reason that Derek Jeter is more vocal on Twitter right now is because he wants more people to like him. The same reason Tom Brady is vocal on Twitter right now.
Well, he wanted more people to watch the documentary. That's the reason why he.
He also wants more people to like him.
For the documentary. That's when he got on Twitter.
Only Yankee fans like Derek Jeter.
That's true.
Just like only Patriots fans like Tom Brady.
That's true.
Everybody else hated Tom Brady. And if you ever notice, neither one of them, nobody ever really had anything nice to say about them as people. It's just like they're great players. But nobody was ever like, oh, great guy, give me the shirt off his back. Great guy, gave me $10,000 when I was really struggling to pay child support. Like, neither one of those guys ever did that until like the end of their career. Like now when they're in their 40s.
To be fair, if you were struggling paying child support, I wouldn't give you $10,000 either.
If we were best friends, like, why not?
Nah, I'm just joking.
What if I was pulling in Antonio Cromartie and had 11 kids, bro? Help a brother out. Damn.
Yeah, no, that's fucked up.
I would help you out. After kid number 4, I'd be dragging you down to the clinic and be like, give him the old snip, doc. It's for his own good. If you're lucky, you'd go to a regular doctor, not a vet.
Yeah.
I don't got that kind of money.
All right, so
we got my old man laughing.
We're gonna take a quick break, and we get back with a little New York football.
Fellas, the fantasy football draft season is right around the corner. CeeDee Lamb is good, but have you seen these beautiful balls? It's time to get your snake looking right for this snake draft with sponsors of today's show, Manscaped. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming have created a championship lineup with the Performance Package 4.0. Join the 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for kickoff by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the promo code BellyUpFantasy. Inside the Performance Package 4.0, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. Tom Brady didn't come out of retirement for you to have hairy balls. So slot it at the quarterback and get 20% off and free shipping when you use the promo code BellyUpFantasy at Manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping when you use the promo code BellyUpFantasy at Manscaped.com. It's time to put the PP back in a PPR league.
That was a good fucking ad read. I'm gonna play that.
I feel like
football season that's going on.
I feel like that Tom Brady quote just inspired Nick not to manscape. Oh yeah, Tom Brady doesn't like balls hairy? I'm gonna grow that shit out big and long like a ZZ Top beard.
I guess they put the PP back in PPR.
Oh my goodness, that was a good ad. I like that.
All right. So NFL training camp. What's that feedback? Is someone whistling? Nick?
I have no idea. No, nobody's whistling here.
I think that's Nick.
I think it's where you are, Nick.
It might just be that the TV might be too loud because they're watching us on TV.
Oh, that's where you hear us back.
Yeah.
Can you tell them to lower it?
They're lowering it now.
Okay. Could you guys please lower that if you're watching us? How often does the TV actually tell you to lower while watching them? It's weird. See, that's like
I think it's gone now.
Do you have any like cues for your dad watching you right now? Like Mary Tyler Moore, you gonna pull on your ear, or like wiggle your nose, or anything?
I'm sitting here. I'm doing the Ross.
Well, NFL training camp. Big news today. Your boy Mekhi Becton done for the year, the entire season.
That sucks, man. And I'm not gonna say it sucks like as it does suck as a fan, as a Jet fan. I honestly, we're in like a conundrum. I was talking to my dad about this earlier. We're in a conundrum as fan bases, as fans of sports and sports teams. And that conundrum is there are fans that actively root against players, especially in football, because at one point they made a statement on social media where they said that player wasn't good, and they are going to die on that hill. And they actively root against him because they want to be right. So it's more important to be right on social media than it is for your team to win. So, like, I'll give an example. There was a lot of Sam Darnold lovers, a lot of Sam stans, right? And those Sam stans were like, I hate Zach Wilson. He's a bust. He's a bust. Sam Darnold's been gone. This is 2 years now. He's gone. And they're still sitting here like, Zach Wilson sucks. We should have kept Sam. And I'm just kind of sitting there going like, dude, like, so you just don't want to win, do you? Like, I'm not sitting here saying like absolve the kid of any sins that he may make along the way. But I am saying, like, let the kid play out. Like, let's find out what he's bringing to the table. Don't just sit there and be like, oh, he's trash and I hate him simply because you like the other guy better. Like, that doesn't make anything better for anybody. And they did that with Mekhi Becton. A lot of guys are like, oh, he's a bust. He's a bust. And Robert Saleh did a whole press conference where he was just like, if you're a fan, reach out to him on social media. He goes, I think people are dehumanizing these guys. They don't see them as human beings. And on social media, and they're abusing them on social media. Those are their feelings. They're human beings. They have families to feed and jobs to do. If you're a fan and you want to support Mekhi, reach out on social media. If you don't support Mekhi, move along. And the Jets posted that clip of Robert Saleh saying that, and there's still fans going, well, he's a bust. And I'm like, did you not even watch the video? Like, the guy got hurt. Like, look, for those that, I mean, I'm not medical or anything. But if you didn't look up what he got injured with, he had an avuncular break in his patella, his kneecap. I looked it up. An avuncular break is basically he cracked his kneecap, and then the patella tendon ripped that piece of bone away from the rest of his kneecap. Like, I've dislocated my kneecap. I've dislocated my kneecap multiple times. It hurts. It hurts a lot. And he dislocated his kneecap last season, and this year he fractured his kneecap. It sucks, man. I feel bad for him. The kid came in looking good. He has a right attitude. He's staying late after practice to work with Laken Tomlinson. He's staying late after practice to sign autographs for every single fan. Not like usually like the players will stay and they'll sign for kids. Oh no, not Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton's signing for everyone, every single person that was there until there were no more people. Like, that's somebody that gets it. That's somebody that's like, yo, like TJ, when was the last time somebody asked you for your autograph?
Only when I have to sign the check, the bill at the end when I get my credit card back.
That's it.
Today.
What was it?
I had to sign a document for work.
my dad said your wife, if she ever wants alimony payment.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Dad,
you have to sign that in blood.
So Mekhi Becton gets it. Whether you're an adult or you're a child, and you're asking this man for his autograph, he's like, how much longer am I going to get this treatment?
As long as you're not elbowing a child out of the way to get his autograph.
Yeah. So I feel awful for Mekhi Becton. He put in a lot of work in the offseason.
Yeah, I do feel bad for him. That sucks.
And it hurts the team, but I think the team, they figure it out at some point. As Coach Westhoff would say, they figure it out.
Yep.
So I'm not overly concerned for the Jets. It's a bummer, definitely a bummer. I'm more upset about Mekhi because I have been watching him in the offseason. I have seen the work that he's put in, and I have seen the stupid comments from knucklehead fans. I'm going to put air quotes around them because they're not real fans because they actively root against him again because they were like, I knew we should have picked Tristan Wirfs. I'm like, oh, you know the future then. Okay, tell me what the lotto numbers are so you know everything because you clearly saw this coming 2 years ago. Like it's so ridiculous. Like either root for the guy or shut up, don't say anything, or go find another team to root for. Like sitting there rooting against your own guy, it's like, come on now. I'm sure like you're not the biggest Daniel Jones fan, but if you're not going to sit here and hope that he plays badly.
No, I didn't make any prediction that he was going to be benched for Tyrod Taylor on a podcast anytime recently.
No, but assuming that he does bad, I don't and hoping that he does bad is two different things.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, Mekhi Becton, I thought he made improvements to what everyone was giving him a hard time about him gaining weight. When I saw it today in the news, I saw he was out for the season. Listen, I'm a Giants fan. I'm not a Jets fan. And I was like, damn, that fucking sucks. Because he was like out to like prove everybody wrong this year. Where he changed his name, his Twitter handle was Big Ticket. He changed the Big Bust because everyone was calling him Bust. Now it's back to Big Ticket, but he was putting that. It was like bulletin board material for him to be like, I'm going to get better this year. I'm going to be better. I'm going to prove these people wrong, people who are so-called, as you said, fans. And now he gets hurt. He doesn't get a chance to do that. And that sucks. And you know what? I don't know what his future may be. That, NFL is a business. When, times to cut a guy, you cut a guy. If he's injured like that, you can't cut him without maybe a minimal salary cap hit. And then maybe he gets a job somewhere else. Maybe he does really well somewhere else. And good for him if he does. Because then he just proves everybody else wrong who gave him a hard time here in New York. But it just sucks when I saw that news. Like I said, I'm not a Jet fan, but seeing that like a young kid like that who's going through a little hardship and trying to get better, and that just sucks. It's a terrible thing.
Yeah, I think what Coach Saleh said really hit the nail on the head. His journey is not over. It's just an injury, and whether it's with the Jets or with somebody else, honestly, I do hope it's with the Jets. I do hope he gets to redeem himself with the Jets. I really do hope that at some point we're sitting there at his Hall of Fame speech going, it was a rough first 3 years, wasn't it? Because you know what? Look at they're talking about bringing in his name escapes me right now. I don't know why. I've been looking at it Dwayne Brown as a replacement. Dwayne Brown's 37. So he's been in the league for a minute. Mekhi's got time. Yeah. Mekhi's got time. It's not like you're 24, it's over.
Yeah, fast forward. Too. It's not like running backs. Running backs too, like their shelf life is, it's what 10 years. They're good and they're gone. If they're lucky.
If they're lucky, it's 10 years.
If they're lucky, it's 10 years. I mean,
like 6.
And you would think offensive linemen, very physical position. You would think those guys don't last as long, but there's been some old guys that play offensive lineman at a high level late into their career. Who was the guy who was just retired from the Rams? He was Andrew Whitworth. He was very good. I think he was was it
John Runyon? Well, John Runyon was in the league for a long time too.
Yeah, and I mean, and he just retired after winning a Super Bowl because it's like I finally got here. I'm done. Yeah. I'm not chasing this dream anymore. And he was in his 40s, and it was a cool scene after. I think there was a behind the scenes type of thing. He was mic'd up when they won the Super Bowl, and he sat his kids down, and he was like, "This is it, guys. This is Daddy's gonna be home for." And it was, it's a cool moment when that happens. You win a Super Bowl, and you're able to tell your kids, "I'm gonna retire, spend some time with you guys, and hit the pinnacle of my career." And he did it for a very long time. And, for offensive lineman, I don't think it's the end for Mekhi Becton. I hope that he gets either a shot here at the Jets or a shot, somewhere else. And he makes something of his career. I think it's just a setback. But setback is never as great as a comeback, as the situation always says.
Yeah. I am looking to see the Jets add maybe Dwayne Brown or Bobby Massey or somebody to that offensive line, at least to create some competition for some of the younger guys that they got in the room. And I would love to see one of these guys like Max Mitchell come out and on top and become, the replacement. That's what they drafted him for, as a backup. Yeah. Solid. I don't think he was planning on playing this season as a 5th or 6th round pick. I can't remember what round he was drafted in, but I would like to see them pick up like a Bobby Massey or Dwayne Brown and figure that part out.
Yeah, I mean, they'll figure it out. I think Joe Douglas is a pretty good GM. He'll bring somebody in, or they'll figure it out, between who they have in the building already, and make sure the Jets are prepared for moving forward. But besides that, the Jets training camp, Nick, how do you feel about Garrett Wilson? Do you think And so far, they're saying in training camp he's been pretty legit. I think it's going to transfer, as his rookie year headed into this actual season.
I mean, right now he's with the twos, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, our starting three are Braxton Berrios, Elijah Moore, and Corey Davis, and I like that. Make the young kid earn it. Make him show you why he's the bee's knees and the cat's meow. And I think that Garrett Wilson has actually shown a lot of promise. I'm really more.
We lost Nick here as he's in the middle of his moment talking about Garrett Wilson and the New York Jets, and as he tried to figure out this technical difficulty, TJ disappeared. But TJ, I know you don't really follow training camp for the NFL, right?
Nah, I'm not into it as much. Football is behind hockey and baseball for me, so
yeah. So I know you're. But
I'm not big into.
Fan, though. So Jeff fan, do you have any type of expectations going into this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see Zach Wilson get better and develop. I mean, he had the perfect opportunity to learn by playing, and kind of the expectations were down. So it was just, let's see what you get out of Zach Wilson. So I'm excited for that. I'm happy that Berrios was back in the offseason. They picked him back up, and his explosiveness is, something that I think for last year was the highlight of the season, the plays that he was involved in. So I'm looking forward to this year. A lot of people are still shitting on the Jets. What's their over under at 6 wins?
I didn't look it up.
This season?
I can look it up. Give me a minute. I know Nick's back. Nick's back. So if you want to go back to Nick's point, but I'll look it up.
So I think my expectations are better than that. I think the Jets can pull off 7 or 8 wins this year. I think they have the opportunity to surprise a lot of people. So I'm looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward to seeing, like I said, the development of Zach Wilson. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of Twitter haters be wrong on those accounts. I don't understand the Sam Darnold obsession, because he was not a good quarterback for us. And you could blame, every tangible little thing, this, that, the offense, the play calling, whatever you want to blame. He wasn't the answer. And the Zach Wilson haters, the people that want him to kind of fail because they'd rather have, Sam Darnold, it's kind of laughable. But I'm looking forward to the season. So I honestly think that everybody that's, hating on the Jets are going to be pleasantly surprised. They're going to be a lot better team.
Yeah, and before we go back to you, Nick, TJ, your point was the regular season win. So on DraftKings, the Jets are actually worse than the Giants. They're getting the over under is 5.5. The Giants are at 7.
Yeah, I'll take the over on the Jets.
Bet the over the Jets. The Jets over though is minus 175, which is bigger odds, obviously. But then the Giants over is plus 105. So I would obviously take the under on the Giants. I don't think they win in 7 games, but yeah,
I don't think so either.
We'll get to that. But Nick, go to back to your point about you're talking about the wide receiver core and how they're treating Garrett Wilson right now as a 2 as opposed to putting him with the number ones.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good thing. The NFL, the way it's built now, it's like, oh, you were drafted in the first round, you have to start and be a Pro Bowler within your first 3 years, or we're getting rid of you. And if you look at historically in the NFL, there are some guys that take 2 or 3 years to figure it all out and then make that big move. I mean, Brett Favre was on the Atlanta Falcons when he first started his career.
Yeah.
Steve Young sat the bench behind Joe Montana. Kurt Warner got cut from the Packers, and then was the backup to Trent Green. Eli Manning sat behind
Kurt Warner.
I mean, and I think rightfully so, and I think he would still sit behind Kurt Warner right now because Eli Manning wasn't good, but it was.
You're nuts. You're out of your mind.
I'm not nuts. Kurt Warner's in the Hall of Fame, and he actually went to the Super Bowl after playing with the Giants. The Giants just sucked when he was there.
Eli Manning was actually a playoff team, and they benched him for Eli Manning.
Yeah, and then he went to
the playoffs. That was like a fucking tank job.
And then he went to another team and made the playoffs and actually took them to a Super Bowl, like their first Super Bowl. And the Giants had Eli Manning, who can't read.
Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls, so I'm
okay. He was on a team that won 2 Super Bowls by accident.
You're nuts.
I'm not nuts. Eli Manning's trash. He only ever led the league in interceptions. Led the league in turnovers. That's it.
Some of those plays in the Super Bowl were
we're lucky. He had his eyes closed. All right. He had his eyes closed.
Out of your mind.
I'll never forget
the tell you too, you're out of your mind.
I'll never forget the look on his face in the preseason game when Jim Leonard broke his face open and he was bleeding and he's like, "What's this red stuff coming out of my head?" Because he didn't understand the concept of blood. You know why Eli Manning's name is Eli, right? His parents knew anything more than 3 letters would be too complicated.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
That kid definitely got dropped on his head as a child. They definitely like threw him in the air. His head hit the ceiling fan and then he hit the floor.
Go back to your point.
Anyway, some guys it just takes a little bit more time, and I'm glad that they don't have that pressure on Garrett Wilson on day one. Like, hey, you have to start tomorrow. And they're actually doing the same thing with Ahmad Gardner. He's actually listed as sharing his role with Bryce Hall, who proved himself to be a very reliable cornerback last year. They're basically telling Ahmad Gardner, like, hey, you need to show us that you need to be a 1. Like wearing the number 1 on your chest and giving yourself a little nickname, that doesn't make you a star in the NFL.
Say, could you call him by his actual name, sir?
No, his actual name is Ahmad Gardner. And CJ Mosley is like, and CJ Mosley came out and was like, yeah, Ahmad. And he's like, I will not call him Sauce until he actually proves in this league that he deserves to be called Sauce.
Wow.
And they asked,
that's big leadership right there. That's a
captain. They asked Gardner about that, and he's like, "That's how it was at Cincinnati. I don't have a problem with that. I'm gonna show everybody."
Yeah,
and that's the right answer though.
Yeah.
So I think, and then it's same thing with Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson doesn't need to. Double J does not need to be the guy on this defensive line. They have a plethora of options on the defensive line, and that's great. That's great. So, I think they're moving their rookies along in a nice pace, where none of them have to be, and even again, Breece Hall doesn't need to be the guy either because you got Michael Carter.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of options where it's like, oh, you're a rookie, cool. We're not relying on you to be the end all be all. Talk about cornerback, you've got Bryce Hall this year, you've got DJ Reed, you got Michael Carter the second. They can all play. They're serviceable. They don't need Gardner to be the Deion Sanders tomorrow. Deion Revis. He doesn't need to be Deion Revis tomorrow. It doesn't need to happen. And the same thing. We can go through the picks, right? You don't need Gardner to be the number 1 right now. You don't need Garrett Wilson to be number 1 right now. You don't need Jermaine Johnson to be number 1 right now. You don't need Breece Hall to be number 1 right now. And that's a good thing. They can just sit back and learn. Watch the other guy do it and learn. And that's a good thing. When you don't have to have the spotlight on you, you don't need to be the focal point of everything. It's a lot easier. And you could ask Leonard Williams about that. Because when he was with the Jets, they expected him to be a Pro Bowler on day 1. And that's not easy. The same thing with Sam Darnold, and the same thing with Mark Sanchez. When you're expected to be a Hall of Famer on your first pass or your first pass rush, that's a big expectation, and it's not fair.
Tall order.
Definitely true. So we're running a little, short on time here. So do you have any other jet points before we get to the big story at New York Football Giants trading camp this week?
No, not really. I right now, the one thing I did want to say was Roquan Smith from the Bears requested a trade.
Yeah, he requested a trade once again.
Pro Bowl linebacker requested a trade.
Good for him.
And I think both New York teams could use him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think that's a good segue.
Yeah, Giants definitely didn't linebacker, that's for sure. Xavier McKinney looked really good as a safety. Granted, he is playing reps against Daniel Jones, getting a couple of picks. I saw one of the plays. It was an athletic play for him, and I think he's going to be a good safety. But it was just a terrible decision by Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones has been very up and down in this training camp, and that's not surprising to me. Do I want to see Daniel Jones succeed because that means success for my football team? Of course. But I just don't think he's the guy. I've always said that. I went on a limb and said at TSS Fantasy, they had me on for the Giants show, and everyone else was yelling at me because I was like, don't be surprised if you see Daniel Jones benched by 6 or 7 games. And they're like, you're out of your mind. Daniel Jones is, he's got to come back here at Daboll. He's going to be better. I'm like, Tyrod Taylor is Daboll's guy. So if Daniel Jones is sucking it up, He has no loyalty to Daniel Jones. He's going to pull that hook. And listen, is it nice if I be right? Yeah, but I don't want that to happen because I know that we're using our second string guy. Granted, Tyrod Taylor is very serviceable. I think he's a great I'm going to say great quarterback, but he's a serviceable quarterback in the NFL. He's done it before. He's been able to win.
He can move the ball.
He can move the ball, and that's the Giants have struggled with. I mean, you see teams with their second string, third string quarterbacks come in, and they put up points. And you hear the Giants were playing Mike Lennon, Jake Fromm, fucking whoever else that was last year after Daniel Jones went down, and they were barely able to muster up 3 points. So I mean, I don't think we're going to see a time where, the time of us, the Giants, going on 39 in their own 5 just to make extra space for a punt. I don't think that's going to happen on the Dable. Hopefully it does not. But I do see. I think Daniel Jones is having a tough time right now. I hopefully he turns it around. But call me negative Giants fan. It's been all negative for the last ever since I think too.
But what are Giant fans thinking when they think this guy can be the guy? I mean, what have you seen from him so far in his 3 years with the Giants?
3 years. This is 4th year. So 3. I think it was early on that first year. He did have some promise. Not first year, because his first year was when Eli was still there. I'm sorry, his second year, where he won that game against Tampa Bay. Granted, they only won that game because Tampa Bay missed a field goal. There's been moments where he was able to run. He had that 80-yard run against the Eagles. There was times that same Eagles game where he hit a wide open receiver. He made a nice play to a receiver, and then the receiver drops it, and that cost them the game. So they're seeing it, whereas it's the offensive line has been terrible. The defense hasn't been great. That they think that maybe with a capable or competent head coach and a competent offensive coordinator, that he'll be better. Because now he's got Mike Kafka, who's the quarterback coach for the Chiefs, being their offensive coordinator. So they think it will help him turn around with Brian Dable, who's the offensive coordinator, with Josh Allen with the Bills. They think that with those two guys, they'll turn Daniel Jones' career around. But I just don't think, listen, you either have the talent or you don't. And I just don't think he has the talent to be an NFL quarterback. And I think we see the last 3 years. I'm surprised that he's being named, starter out the gate with a new coach like this. But I guess they have to go with him because he was a first-round draft pick, unfortunately. So I think they have to ride with him.
It was just obvious that they had to hold on to him for this season, and they're going to move along. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just the quarterback class for this draft was kind of thin, and nobody was really great. Stand out. There was nobody that the Giants or anybody really in the league was super excited on, and had to go after and get or make trades to be able to put themselves in a position to get. So it's just a situation of it is what it is. This is how the cards fell, and you get what you get out of him this year. But any Giant fan that thinks he's not gone after the season is out of their mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I would be surprised if he was here for 5th year. That's definitely without a doubt in my mind. But
once they move on from him, I don't think he starts for anybody.
Maybe back up somewhere if he's lucky.
That's it.
And that's it. Maybe he's starting the XFL, but
the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah. The CFL, XFL, or what was the other one they had recently? Was the
USFL.
USFL. Yeah, USFL. But the big story this week of the New York Giants training camp was the huge fight that broke out yesterday, and the offensive line coach got involved. He actually shoved the linebacker.
That wasn't yesterday, though.
Was it yesterday?
That was 2 days ago. That was Monday.
Oh, was it Monday? I don't know why.
It was Monday or Saturday, one of the two.
Yeah, well, it was recent, and I was just like, God damn it! I get if fights break out in training camp, it always does. I feel like every team goes through a fight, but to have a coach involved in it, what the fuck?
It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. I'm surprised he's not fired. I'm surprised they weren't get the fuck out of a building. You can't hit a fucking player. What are you doing? You're upset about it because I think they were saying that. I guess what started the fight was Saquon. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't Saquon. Someone hit someone on the offensive side hard. Then Saquon came in, hit someone more physical than he probably should have been on the defensive side. And then at that point, they took exception to it, the defensive side of the tip of the ball. And then they were pulling bodies and everything. And then the offensive line coach came in and shoved someone. It was a pretty big melee. It was a pretty big fight. They had a funny meme of I who was it? Was it Andrew Thomas or someone?
It's his name is like Fiorentino or something like that.
And he was dragging. He was getting dragged, right? Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing.
Is it that bad for a coach to get involved and shove somebody? I mean, it's not little kids; they're grown-ass men.
He shouldn't be picking a side. Yeah,
I understand he shouldn't be picking a side, but it's like, let's not overreact and act like it's Pop Warner football and some 6-year-old just got tossed.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying because
it's not that it's bad that he put his hands on another player. He picked a side. That's what it was. Yeah. They're all wrong. They're all your players, whether you're the offensive line coach or you're the defensive line coach. You're on the same team, and players obviously get caught in the moment. Their feelings because they're playing in the moment. As a coach, you're supposed to be the voice of reason, and you're supposed to stop the fight because you don't want your players to fight against each other. You're not supposed to be like, all right, my offense is going to gang up on your defense, and we're going to physically assault you, and I'm going to be in on it. Like, that's crazy. That would be like doing.
I get it.
That would be doing bounty gate against your own team.
No, I think it's also unprofessional. It's just unprofessional. Like you're the coach. You should have some more composure.
You're supposed to set an example.
Exactly. You're setting an example. And you just came over and just shoved the linebacker. Like that's gonna make things worse. And the fight's gonna be worse between the offense and defense because the offensive line coach just came over and just shoved our linebacker who's a leader on this team.
It's definitely not building bridges. But it's definitely not building bridges.
It's not a big deal.
It absolutely was. It absolutely is a big deal.
It's not a team that's gonna win 6 games.
It would be like
3 games now. But
let's say you had 2 kids and they were fighting. And you hit one and not the other.
If one deserved it, it's called discipline.
Oh, they both deserve it. They shouldn't be fighting.
It's not at all. Not at all, dude.
TJ's like, I'm gonna smack the shit out of one, but not
dude. Like that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
The one I like more is not getting a beating.
One kid walks over to the other kid and spits in his fucking cereal during breakfast, and they go into a fight. Yeah, you're gonna smack the one and spit in his fucking kid's cereal, especially if it's Captain Crunch. You do not fuck with the captain.
Well, I guess it would be Nick's. Nick's point would have been better if he was like, you came over and your favorite child spit the cereal of your least favorite child, and you smacked the least favorite child, being like, "Why'd you let him spit in your cereal?" You know what I'm saying? Like that's what Nick would be saying. That
could be like tough love. Like you smack him and be like, "Fucking hit him back. What are you doing?"
That kid's gonna grow up and kill you and your wife and your best.
No, that's like when you're like, dude, are you serious? Spits in your cereal. You get clever. Next thing you know, he wakes up with pink eye, and it's like, what happened? Farted on your pillow, you son of a bitch.
Bare ass. But so
prison rules.
Because I know you wanted to make a Lions Hard Knocks point before we move.
So it's 2 things. One with the whole Saquon thing. I saw a lot of people flexing about that hit that he put on that DB, and then I saw Giants fans going because I was like, if that DB made that type of attempt to tackle somebody in a game, the Giants fans would be tearing him apart. Like that's not Saquon being a beast. That's that DB just having the absolute worst tackling ability in the history of mankind. He had 0 leverage, didn't even attempt to wrap him up. Like he just basically stood in front of Saquon and was like, go ahead, hit me. So somebody that was a Giants fan, I don't recall who, was like, that drill, you're not supposed to take anybody down to the ground. And Saquon abused the rules because he was mad that the defense was dominating the offense and making them look bad. So Saquon came through and just threw a shoulder and knocked this guy down. And that's what sparked the fight, was because Saquon basically broke the rules. It would be like, hey, we're doing a walkthrough. And he was just like, boom. And like if you ever watch Gridiron Gang, when they're doing a walkthrough and the running back comes through and just throws a forearm shiver at one of the DBs, that's what Saquon did. And I just thought it was a weird flex on the Giants. Like a lot of these Giants fans were like, look at this amazing hit by Saquon. And I'm like, whoa, if this is just like not supposed to be full contact, like down to the ground, that's a weird flex.
And that's what started the fight because it was like he was too physical in that play where they were not supposed to be that physical, and then he took it too far.
Right.
Like, oh, look at this hit by Saquon.
I just thought it was the weirdest flex from Giants fans. Look at this amazing hit. I'm like, that hit was not supposed to happen. And the DB's response is basically, it wasn't an amazing hit. It was took a cheap shot at me when we weren't supposed to be doing that.
And I feel like that's probably the same Giant fans that think Daniel Jones would be the starting quarterback all 16 games or 17 games.
You might be right about that. But talking about Hard Knocks, I did see some things today about Hard Knocks. Now, I like Hard Knocks. I think it's interesting. I don't get to watch it all the time. I don't have HBO. I'm not.
I recorded. I just didn't watch it yet. I do like watching Hard Knocks though.
But today they dropped Aiden Hutchinson, their first round pick, number 2 overall, singing Billie Jean in front of the entire team in the classroom, to the point where everybody else on the team starts singing it with him. And I'm gonna show it to you right now because it's pretty damn funny. It's one of the guys takes off his shirt, and if you look, it's a guy in his second row takes off his shirt, and another guy doesn't even see him take it off. He throws it, and the other guy catches it in front of him. Doesn't see the guy throw it. He catches it and immediately starts dancing with it. And I'm like, these guys are in the wrong profession.
I think you were talking about this before we started going on the air, but you were saying that you were bringing up Hard Knocks because you wanted to say whether or not it helps or hurts teams. I think it helps them because it brings you these like random players that you probably wouldn't have heard of, but then you cheer for them. You know, like Danny Amendola was on the Dallas Cowboys back in the Hard Knocks, and like people wanted to see Danny Amendola do well. And eventually they cut him, and then he moved on. And obviously, he moved on to the Patriots, won a couple Super Bowls. But I think it's good. But let's show the clip first, and then we'll get back to that point. Let me see if I got it here. She was more like a beauty queen in the movie scene. I said, no, mom, what you do to me?
So
she told me her name's Billie Jean. Across the scene, every head turned an ice cream.
So this guy in the yellow is going to catch the shirt.
People always told me.
There goes the shirt. Catch.
Oh my god, that was incredible.
It was painful to watch.
Oh my god, that was actually really awesome.
So
it was seamless. He threw the shirt, and he was like going to get up and just had it there. It started spinning it.
That is not good for football.
That's amazing for football.
That's not good for life. That's
so good.
Like, oh my god.
First of all,
my favorite player now.
That
you know
song,
what, dude? I can't wait. I can't wait, fucking Rook, until you go to one of your daughter's recitals because they're doing dance or gymnastics, and you got to watch 30 other frigging classes before you get to see your daughter. So you're there for 3 hours, and you only get the 2 minutes of your daughter. That's what you're really there for, right? And then you got to watch the 29 other girls, like dance groups, go, and be like, oh, this is fucking torture, because that's what that was. That was torture to watch. Like, it's not funny unless you're involved in it, unless you know these people. It's just
such
douchey and it's
such a
you just take no enjoyment in life, do you?
Yeah, seriously.
It's not funny at all. It's like, I get the point of like the hazing, embarrass somebody, make you go stand up and sing a song or something like that, but make it better. Throw fucking
TJ, now you have to sing Billie Jean next time we have a show.
No, I don't sing songs made by pedophiles. Sorry.
Prove that he touched those kids. First of all, Billie Jean is a great song for anybody in the NFL, right? Because the lyrics of the song are "The kid is not my son," and I think everybody in the NFL should learn that phrase. At least practice it with their lawyer once or twice.
That's true. Except Antonio Cromartie, because most of the time those kids are his.
Yeah, I mean, he ran out of leeway on that one.
Him and Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers. Like, no, that's my son. I have like 7 of them.
One day, I hope to see Antonio Cromartie's kids play against Phillip Rivers' kids in a football game, because they both have like 11 or 12 kids.
Yeah, they do. I think.
You know what? I don't. If you're a diehard football fan, I guess Hard Knocks is great. But if they're not focused on your team, who gives a shit? I'm sorry, I'm not into it. I don't care about other people's teams. I don't care about other people's rookies or who's making camp and who's not. It's just, oh, this coach said this. It's like, dude, I don't care. I don't live in your city.
The Oakland Raiders a couple of years ago was very good. It was the year they got Antonio Brown, and he like never played a game for them. They had
Las
all that
Vegas.
drama. What was that?
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, I'm sorry, Las Vegas Raiders. It was the first season in Las Vegas, and the whole shit with AB and everything. That was fucking awesome.
Hold on. All right. So the original question was, do you think it helps or hurts? Honestly,
I think it helps.
it depends on the circumstance. So the thing that bothers me about Hard Knocks is only the bottom like 3 teams can be on Hard Knocks.
And I think the Giants have not get picked the last 4 years somehow.
So, well, you have to accept it or not.
Oh, is that
that's why the Lions were in it now, and that's why the Jets were in it. I want to say it was Rex's first year, because the year before they were one of the bottom 3 teams in the league.
Yeah.
You can't be successful immediately because of distraction.
There was more people in that room of that video clip that you just showed than actually living in the city of Detroit. I just want you to know that.
But I think it serves as more as a distraction than it does a boon to your team, especially if you're going through a struggle like the Lions are, where a lot of people are calling head coach's head. There's a lot of people that don't want him, and now he had a great, powerful speech today. I believe I saw a clip of it where he's like almost on the verge of tears, saying like, "Dude, I'm doing everything I can to make sure you guys are out there to put your best foot forward and whatnot." And maybe that brings people to his side, and they feel like Dan Campbell can bring them. I'm pretty sure Dan Campbell is their coach, can bring them to that next level that's not in the toilet bowl that the Lions have been in for the last, 80 years or so. But I do think that it's unnecessary if you're a struggling team. I think it would be more better suited toward a team that's already functioning at a high level, so that it doesn't prove to be like one of those like laughing stock things where it's like, oh crap, like we're watching this team that can't complete a freaking pass, and we got to, it just brings more hate.
No, it's pure entertainment, like when
it's all
your coach is screaming that he doesn't care if you have one ass cheek and 3 fingers, he'll beat your ass. It's like, yeah, good call, buddy. Fucking hard-hitting entertainment.
But did you guys happen to catch Antonio Brown's regrets? I could have sworn I saw something today, whether it was true or not.
Are you pulling them up?
I'm trying to. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, but the gist of it was like, I don't regret flying into my first practice in Las Vegas in a hot air balloon with a frozen foot. I don't regret taking my shirt off and doing a victory lap around the Jet Stadium, putting up peace signs. I don't regret this. I don't regret that. He goes, my only regret is that I will never get to witness myself playing football. And he was like watching it. He's like, and he goes, I mean, watching it with my own eyes, because obviously I can't watch myself. But he goes, I am deprived of my own greatness because I couldn't see myself play football. And I'm like, this guy has a head injury. Like, seriously, the man is injured in the dome. Like, there's no way his brain works at a level that it should be working at. It was just the most ridiculous thing. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen about a football player talking about himself. It was just stupid.
What's his IQ? You think he's like functional enough to be able to operate like a car?
He's been like a fucking idiot ever since Vontaze Burfict knocked him out in that playoff game.
Yeah,
and a lot of he's gone downhill. Like, it's definitely a hits to the head. It's not like he's just not a crazy. He wasn't like a crazy person before that. Now he's just fucking out of his mind. But I will go back to your point about Hard Knocks. I think it helps. I only think it helps because it gives you that aspect of looking at players who you may not looked at before, and just gives you a little behind the scenes of how a coach may operate. So maybe you might have a little more respect for him before you're saying, I want to cut him out, fire him.
But at the same,
but if you're not a fan of that team, who gives a shit?
I was gonna say, I agree with TJ on that.
But if you really do love football, like it's just fun, like just to watch the coach's mind and like if they're what their practices go through, and listen, Hard Knocks. There's just sometimes it's just funny moments. Like a couple years ago, the Browns offensive line coach, who was that? The guy with the belly. Every time he said "hut," his belly jumped out.
His gut moved.
Yeah, like he
That's pretty funny.
Shit too. He said like some like what was it? It was something like in World War II they were jumping on beaches and whatever, and you guys are now sitting out because you like have a cramp. Like he was just like ripping apart all the players and shit. So sometimes people find like that one niche character, I guess, in each Hard Knocks, and the people are drawn by that. And they like watching like Aiden Hutchinson doing Billie Jean. People like that shit. It's just
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people out there that have head injuries, I guess. I don't know.
Well, TJ has no joy in anything.
He doesn't.
Yeah, no joy in anything. Dude, I'll watch 3 hours of people getting just like hitting the nuts randomly. Like that's funny. That's entertainment. All right. Watching biggest asshole drivers on YouTube, like there's a compilation of people crashing. Hilarious.
TJ's like if you ever watch the movie Chasing Amy, the whole premise of it's two grown adult men that write comic books about dick and fart jokes. That's TJ. Very big on the dick and fart jokes.
Yeah, I know. There's nothing like having a talent show with 30-year-old men singing Billie Jean. That's
his favorite thing. His favorite thing in the world was like watching funniest home videos, just like world's funniest shots to the nuts. That was like his favorite thing.
I just said that. Like you can't take what I just said and then like turn it into like a pun.
I didn't. It was a negative. It wasn't a pun.
It's not a negative. It's not a negative. More people watch that than this fucking idiot singing Billie Jean.
I don't think so. I feel like.
Does Antonio Brown regret this, Nick? Did he say if he regretted this? This dance move. Put that shit on. Put that shit on. What is this dance? Put that shit on. Put that shit on. Door, my car still was running. Walk out your bitch life. I want out to feel the stuff. AD, why you made it? That's music. Unbelievable. That is terrible.
We are all dumber for having watched that.
Haven't watched that.
May God have mercy on his soul.
TJ, did you enjoy that?
The only way the clip gets better is if like a spontaneous fire breaks out. And he's trapped on stage. And that leather just gets melted to his skin and forever walking around like fucking a weird looking Eddie Murphy.
I was gonna say
like Eddie Murphy.
I didn't like the Eddie Murphy. No, definitely not. I don't like that. He doesn't deserve that.
No, he doesn't deserve that. But
Eddie Murphy's funny.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy's funny. This guy's just a fucking head case. Anyway, I think that's everything for training camp.
Yeah, you've ruined my night.
We're running short on time. We only have 3 minutes left. So quick baseball points. Mets are winning. Yankees are losing. Good night, everybody. Goodbye, everybody.
Actually, one last thing. Tim Anderson out 4 to 6 weeks with a torn hand ligament.
Could have happened to a nice guy,
right? I fixed it up for you, TJ. Is that made your night better?
That made it
the only way my night would get better is if you told me I could throw out a ceremonial first pitch and Tim Anderson standing over there and I could drill him intentionally. Be great.
So, when I say this, I don't mean to say it as like being mean. I don't mean to say it like I don't believe in you. I'm gonna say it as I'm old and you're old, and I don't think either one of us has the smoke to hurt Tim Anderson with a pitch.
I didn't say hurt. The embarrassment factor is like here's so-and-so throwing out the ceremonial first pitch, and he's just standing there swinging a bat, and I just hit him in the back and then stare at him.
I don't feel like that would be embarrassing for anybody, especially Tim Anderson, who'd probably come out and try to fight you.
I'd be great. I would take that on all day.
He'd probably get out of the way before that pitch even gets there.
No way.
See, that was a dig. I wasn't trying to dig at you. That was
no
a dig.
Not a chance.
TJ ruined my enjoyment of Hard Knocks, so I have to ruin his enjoyment of hitting Tim Anderson.
Too bad.
That's how it works, TJ.
No, not at all. It's not how it works. I'll tell you how it works, okay?
Well, I would say the Mets collapse that you guys were predicted in August has not happened yet. They just keep.
Hey, it's still plenty of games left, and the only reason I say that is because I saw them blow an 8-game lead in September 2007.
It's true.
And of course, every Mets fan will say, "This is a different team. This is a different owner." It's been a different team, a different owner for the last 36 years.
It's been they had a really good series against the Braves. That was big for the NL East.
Yeah, those Braves choked.
Braves did choke. What did they lose? 4-5, right? Or they got swept?
Yeah, they did. They did.
4-5, right?
4-5.
And the Yankees are just keep losing series, which sucks. I mean, granted, they had a good hot start, so like these games don't mean too much of the standing. I think they're at like I think they still have a 10 or 9.5 game lead at this point, which is still a pretty big league in the AL East coming into the last final months. How about the Red Sox trailing the Orioles for 4th place? They're in last place, the Red Sox.
No. If we're going to talk about the Red Sox, we need to talk about the real Red Sox news. Chris Sale riding a bicycle breaks his wrist.
He's like, hold on, I have actually footage of that. Hold on, give me 1 second. We found footage of this. Him getting hurt. Come on, my fucking computer is running so slow. God damn it.
Awkward silence.
All right. No, keep going. Someone talk.
Oh, it's amazing we can find that friggin' Billie Jean bullshit right away.
That happened today.
Should never happen.
Well, okay. After this, we're gonna end the show, but we have to show this first because this is definitely how it happens. Chriselle, what are you doing? Oh no, Chriselle, what happened? What happened, Chriselle? Anyone who's wondering what we're watching, it's the for the audio version. It was Joe Biden from off the bike because I assume that's how he got hurt, right? Chriselle.
Comment.
I would like to think Chris Sale is more competent than Joe Biden.
You would think, but he got hurt on a bike as well. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but at least supposedly people didn't have to vote for Chris Sale. Air quotes.
Chris Sale was actually going downhill when he fell off his bike.
Oh,
so he had an excuse.
Yeah.
Unlike being on even ground and just trying to take your foot off the pedal.
Some Yankee fan cut his brakes or something. I don't know. But I'll be damned if that guy didn't throw 5 1/3 innings this season.
All right. Well, before we end, are you concerned about the Yankees, Nick?
Yeah, every day.
TJ?
Not overly concerned, but yes, definitely cause for concern right now with what's going on, and we definitely need Matt Carpenter back. We need a spark.
Carpenter, and we need Stanton to come back because their offense has been putrid since Stanton's gone out. So
that's a fact.
We need to score more runs. Offense is struggling. The pitching picked up a little bit. Tayon. What can I say? Tayon. Coming to my.
Oh my God. Chuck that one up there with Billie Jean.
Yeah, Billie Jean got to me. But Tayon pitched well. Cole pitched well yesterday, and Nestor pitched had a no hitter going, I think 5 or 6 today. So starting pitching not the issue. It's the offense.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, they lost. So who gives a shit what his fucking
Yeah, I know. But did you see the base paths yesterday on the in the extra inning games? The ghost runner, they got it thrown out at the 11th and 12th and the 13th inning.
Yeah, I didn't watch the game yesterday. I had to wake up at 4 something this morning to go to come here.
It was pretty pathetic. Each time every extra inning started off with the guy on second, they got thrown out for a base running blunder, which is fucking terrible. But
they'd be running laps until they couldn't walk anymore.
But Aaron Boone's just like, they were being aggressive, so it's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna yell at anyone. Fucking guys, no backbone.
Yeah, 100%, and that's why I wanted Aaron Boone gone last year. But
same.
What do I know?
Same. All right, boys. Nick, take us on out.
I don't think I want to after you did that. Whatever that joke was, I've tried to erase it, but I don't want. I just
Tayon trying to do a French accent.
Yeah, yeah.
Pepe Le Pew.
That didn't sit well with me at all. Pepe Le Pew's a rapist. We all know that by now.
Settle down.
He's forcing himself on that cat.
Settle down. Settle
He's
down. I never once heard that cat painted like a skunk say no.
If that cat was your daughter, you'd be very upset.
If I had a daughter that was a cat, I'd be like every other fucking crazy cat owner. That's like, these are my children. This one's Sparkle.
Cat daddy.
I call this one my precious.
Oh, God.
This one's feisty.
She's got a spunky attitude about her. She eats when she wants.
She's so spunky. She just shits on my bed all the time.
Oh, my God. Don't get me started on cat owners. They're not even cat owners. The cat owns the fucking person.
Yeah. Fucking anytime you walk past a cat, they just like threaten to murder you.
Yeah. So I got his shit in the sand over there. Go clean it out.
I'm pretty sure you wipe your dog's ass.
I'm pretty sure me wiping my dog's paws after walking her and making sure she's clean before she sleeps on my bed has nothing to do with dude, no, absolutely not.
I'm just saying.
I've never gone over a cat owner's house and walked through the door and had the cat run up to me and be like, "Oh my God, you're here!" Every time I walk through the door, my wife's like, My son's like, "Oh hey." My dog's like, "Holy fuck, you came back! You're the man! I can't believe you came back." And that's why dog owners are the best, because we fucking insecure people need that in our lives. That's what keeps us from pulling over on the side of the Verrazano and jumping the fuck off.
Jesus Christ, what a dark turn that took.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it before you have to pay the fucking $9 toll, right?
It's $17, dude.
No, it's two-way tolling now.
Oh yeah, that's right. I try not to go across it.
Boom. But if I was gonna do it, I'd wear a fucking cape, just so people are like, "Holy shit, you guys trying to fly."
All right, Nick, I think you gotta take us out.
Wait for a cruise ship to go underneath it. Land on the Lido deck.
Oh God.
Ruin the fucking Macarena.
Stay rock. That's how I want to end it. Ruin the Macarena. Goodbye.